focuses on natural hair and the Crown Act. The last webinar is going to shed light on the male perspective, and it's going to feature Congressman Dwight Evans, who represents Pennsylvania's 3rd Congressional District. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining us for Happy Hour. Let's just jump right in because I don't want to waste any time. For folks who may not be familiar with the Crown Act, can either one of you or both of you just give us a high-level overview of what the Crown Act is and why we need to know about it and support it?
Yeah, so the Crown Act, it is a law that helps prohibit the discrimination against natural hair and texture discrimination within the workplace and academic settings. And it is very important because we should no longer allow the system to suppress women and men to feel a certain way because of how they naturally show up in the world, and just being themselves. So it's important that we put certain measures in place so that we can also empower to be our authentic selves and how we show up in the world.
Yes. And to piggyback off of Marissa, we've always discussed how taking away our hair is taking away our identity. But we felt like we don't really discuss how that has affected men. So you kind of touched on it earlier, Syreeta. We have been led to believe that, a black man that has no hair is clean, professional, manageable, approachable, and also controllable. That's how they controlled us back then, with removing our hair as women and hair as men. So we felt like with this webinar, we really needed to kind of pull in men and get them in on the conversation so they know that they're also being affected.
And, I visited the website, and I usually visit pretty frequently, but I saw like the crownact.com kind of got this makeover, which I am loving. Oh my gosh. But there are some statistics that are on this website. For example, black women are 1.5 times more likely to be sent home from the workplace because of their natural hair. Black women are 80% more likely than white women to agree with this statement. I have to change my hair from its natural state to fit in at the office. Again, black women are 80% white women to agree with that statement. And so there is this growing movement to the ending of hair discrimination in the workplace and schools. A petition has been circulating in addition to legislation that has been enacted in several states, not yet nationwide. From my understanding, that is the push that we're looking to see happen. And so, ladies, can you speak a bit to this free webinar series, Reagan and Marissa, that you all have had going on, some of the perspectives that you brought to the table, and why you felt it was important to make sure that with this last one, this, for lack of better words, this crowning webinar series or episode, I should say, that we bring some attention to the male perspective in the midst of this conversation, this movement that's happening.
Yeah, I'll let you go ahead, Marissa.
Yeah, so prior to that, we had some amazing guests. We had the New Jersey State Senator, Sandra Cunningham, as well as an HR specialist, Andrea L. Granville. So we kind of wanted to touch on something different for each webinar. But for tomorrow from 6 to 7, the webinar, we wanted to bring in more male perspectives because our men are just as important as our women. Not only do they also face hair discrimination, but when it also comes to their facial hair and beards, a lot of people in society are intimidated by black men because of these features.
Yes. And
it should not be so. So we also wanted to give them a voice and let them share their opinions and their experiences to the table as well.
Gotcha.
Yes. And to kind of just piggyback off of her again, from our first webinar, we had some men participate, and they just kind of really voiced how they felt like they weren't invited to the conversation. And when we heard that, and then we did more research, I'm not sure if the Crown Act website did another update, but when we went and looked on there, there's like a slideshow of, different people, and honestly, none of them were a black man. So we sat and we said, you know, maybe we should make sure they feel included because it's not being said openly.
Yeah. No, and that absolutely makes sense. And I recently learned, as in like today, y'all, I was today years old when I learned that July 3rd is National Crown Day. And it commemorates the first anniversary of the signing of the Crown Act in California to end race-based hair discrimination. So if you didn't know, that is National Crown Day. And ladies, I love the fact that, you know, once you heard that feedback from black men about, you know, this desire and this need to be included in the conversation, that, you know, you then responded accordingly. What is it that you're hoping to focus on in this conversation, especially with Congressman Dwight Evans? What is it that, you know, you all are looking to discuss in the perspective that you're looking for him to bring to the conversation?
Yes, yes. So one thing in particular is breaking down some barriers and kind of, how can I say, creating the bridge. Because I feel like a lot of times, I know I myself was a victim of this. I just felt like there's no way that a man could kind of relate to how I feel in the office when it comes to my hair. And then when I sat and thought about it, I'm like, oh, wait, they actually can. I don't know how many times I've heard, you know, men tell little boys, oh, you look better with a haircut. You know, you don't look professional or anything with your hair grown out. It's within them like it is within us. So I'm definitely looking for him to kind of really talk about that culture that we've pushed on for so long.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and
Marissa?
also gives us a local perspective as well, because Pennsylvania is still on the pending side when it comes to the Crown Act. So it's also a good idea to bring a local representative in if you had any other questions. We're still in the election phase that everybody's getting ready for in November. So just shedding some light on some area that people might want to ask more about and get more information about, and what we can do as Philadelphians and for Pennsylvania to make sure we stay on top of making sure the Crown Act becomes law here too.
Gotcha. All right. So listen, for folks who want to tune in